Hey everyone, it's Santiago here, the founder of Artineering, with another quick and dirty tutorial on getting started with Flair. So recently in our Flair Discord server, which by now you should be joining as well, so it's the Artineers Discord server, we got a support request because an artist was having an issue using the Milo rig with Flair, particularly the eyes. So let's get to it. The rig in question is Milo rig by Alorema Rigs, and this is how it looks like once you load it in Maya. So because we're going to be working and doing look depth, the first thing that I would do is just go to Show, Viewport, and disable the NURBS curves. The second thing is that we need to be able to select the meshes, but within rigs it's very common that all the geometry is just here referenced, so we need to toggle this off, and that way we can select the individual meshes. So another thing that you will notice is that each material doesn't find the right texture. This is because this file was given to me by the artist, and we simply have a different folder structure. So how do we go about it? We could select each individual file node, or we can use the Flair Toolbox for that. Here we have a Relink textures button, and with this you can just select the folder where the textures are, click on select, it's going to automatically find and apply them. Then, since these are Maya materials, we need to enable Mix Maya Materials in the globals. And then here in the style, I'm just gonna load up the plain style. So now we have the rig pretty much ready to be animated. However, these materials are Maya materials, and Maya materials do not really have any kind of control over Flair. So we need to convert these Maya materials into Flair materials, and this is how we do that. So we can open the presets, the material presets here, and in principle select each individual mesh and click on the inherit preset. This is gonna create a new material and try to inherit whatever values the previous material had. So in this case it was a Maya material, so we do have some weird specularity and stuff like that. We'll fix that later. But if we were to do this everywhere, this would take a lot of time. So how can we speed up the workflow? So instead of going individually, we can use the Convert Materials button here in the Flair Toolbox. So once we click on that, it will ask me, do you want to convert all materials to Flair shader materials? If I click on yes, then automatically all the materials will be converted to Flair materials. So if I select here the shirt, for example, and I click on matte, you will see this is a Flair shader. Let's move myself down here again. Perfect. Now I'm noticing some weird stuff. First of all, we have specularity everywhere, which is not something that I would like to have. So I will just select all the meshes. I'm going to go to the bulk attribute tool, which allows us to change all the materials at the same time. And I'm going to untoggle here the specularity. So toggle, untoggle. There we go. Now, no material has specularity to them. But I do notice two issues. One of them is here on the color, and the other one is on the eyes, like it was highlighted here on Discord. So let's fix that. First things first, the color. So you will notice that the color here turns black, and the reason why this is happening is because that part of the color is actually the inside of the color. And within Flair materials, you need to specify that back face, right, would be in the front now as well. So once I flip the back faces, there we have the color fixed. And now the other issue is with the eyes. If I look into the outliner, how the rig is built, you will see that we have two meshes for the right and the left eye. Let's select them in order to see them better. And you will notice here already the issue. The issue is that there seems to be another hole or mesh around the eye itself. And in this case, it would be the cornea. So if I go here and grow the selection with a bigger than button, you will see, by the way, all hotkeys are here. If I increase this and go inside of it, wait, let me do this a bit more, you will see that this was the cornea and this is the eye. So how can we do that then? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select only the material of the cornea. So I'm just gonna select this component, click on matte, and you will see this is a func 3, this should be cornea. And here I'm going to specify it as, first of all, transparent, and second, I'm going to enable the transparency. There we go. And I do want some specularity to it, so let's add some specularity, but move this a little bit down, make it a bit more diffuse in a way too. Maybe not that diffuse, that's a bit too much. Like this, why not? All right, so we have that. We can disable isolate select, and now we have our character here. I'm noticing that this diffusion is acting a bit weird, so let's make it not diffuse in this case. There we go. All right, so we have our character here ready to be animated. It's all Flair materials. If I wanted to, I can add some specularity to the hair, for example. Let's do that very quickly. Specularity, and then go here to the diffusion. Here we can diffuse it. No, I actually don't want to diffuse it. But here you can control things like the roll-off, the diffusion, and then I will move myself up and control here the transparency of it, so that, yes, we have a little bit of a diffuse kind of hair here. Oh, diffuse specular hair. And yeah, now your rig is ready to be animated and be stylized. Let's just create a very quick and dirty style, just because we still have some time. So I'm going to add some lines to the character. These lines, however, are a bit too thick, so let me modify the line width. Let's make it something like that. And I don't want to have black lines. I want to have the lines the same color. So I will remove the line coloration so that the lines are just a bit darker than they originally are. All right. And then I'm going to add a little bit of NoiseFX as well to have the line thicker and thinner in different parts, because why not? I'm just gonna select all objects for that. Gonna open the NoiseFX, and here I'm going to go into the line width and push this a bit up. Now you will notice that if I toggle this here, the line width that I'm adding, the noise is very big. So let's increase the scale. There we go. And remove the visibility of it. And here I can see how the line width is affecting the character itself. Just going to make this a bit thinner than different noise. And yeah, let's say I like it this way. In case you want to keep it that way, very important, you need to, whenever you have animation, you need to bake the 3D noise to the materials themselves. And that way you will have thicker and thinner lines that move with the animation as well. And remember, when rendering lines, also go for render scale a bit up. Let's put 150 or 200 so that you have the best anti-aliasing possible onto things. All right? That's it. Another thing that I would do probably is remove the lines here on the eye so that they don't get in the way. And yeah, you can also control the line width depending on the depth and so forth. I could go on forever like this, but yeah, this is how you can get started. Prepare your rigs, apply a style, modify the style, and you can go all down the rabbit hole until you achieve your particular vision and your particular render style. All right, guys, that's it. See you on the next one. Ciao.